for another half-loaded episode of Get a Load of This from the Silver Creek Studios. I'm Jarod.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Rebecca.
And
I'm barely here.
My lovely wife, Kristin, is with us. And you might be off mic a little bit, so we'll try to... So speak up.
If you have anything that you really want to say, I can slide this over. You can go into your dissertation and,
We didn't plan it out. We have an extra microphone. It's just not all set up. But, well, we were talking a little bit about shows we've been watching and who's caught up on what or whatever. But I had asked if they had seen the tweets that Disney put out the other day listing off every single show or movie that's going to be on Disney Plus in November or December, whenever that comes out.
Yep.
And it was like 600 and something
That's
different
crazy.
things.
There's too many tweets
It's
to
crazy.
read again.
And here's the thing. So one of the things I had forgotten about, or maybe never really realized, was that among the Disney shows and the Marvel movies and shows and the Lucasfilm Star Wars stuff,
Right.
there's also Discovery Channel. And
They
a
own them
ton of these shows that they listed are really cool documentaries and Animal Kingdom
they're
type
not gonna
stuff,
be available
and
anywhere
Titanic
else.
stuff, and yeah, right. So that is you can watch that shit all day long.
How you get this? Is this a
Like
subscribe
$7
thing?
a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
It's
It's
just like
all
Netflix.
HD.
You got to sign up and,
Yeah.
whatever.
But they had like
Deal too.
there are some packages with Hulu. The Hulu Live, they haven't announced a package yet with that, but like the normal Hulu streaming shows,
Right.
they do have a package with that. So,
Do
Okay.
they? Because I have Hulu
yeah,
Do you?
yeah. It's
I
like
actually use TJ's login.
for Hulu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about sharing.
Yeah.
But
Sharing's caring.
Ryan pointed out that he would think about signing up for Disney Plus.
The only way they're
if-
making me a subscriber.
if what is it?
Song of the South.
Yeah, song of the
Wow.
South. Zippity doodah, motherfucker.
So if they don't represent the Confederate flag,
Uncle
No,
Remus.
that's not at all
no.
what that movie's
I know.
Have you
about.
seen the
I
movie?
know.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I
Well,
feel like
so
I've seen it,
there
but it's been
there
forever.
are some there's some bad stuff in it, right? I mean, Uncle Remus isn't the fact that he's a slave is problematic.
Yeah.
The crows, the cartoon crows, they do talk with an effect that sounds a bit, racist, I guess,
Dumbo had
I
those
was gonna
too,
say,
right?
Dumbo
They
Dumbo
had
did
the
as well,
crows.
yeah, right. And Dumbo's been
Still out
re-released
there.
out there.
Right, yeah.
still out there.
So there's I don't
Not
you know,
condoning the racist
but
connotation
it's
of those things.
it's a depiction of an era in our past.
Right.
And it is what it is, and it's entertainment if nothing else. And if it also teaches you a little bit of history, then so be it. Look, Huck Finn.
There's also life lessons to be learned from it.
Well, sure. And Huckleberry Finn, there's been many movies made based on Mark Twain's books. And Huck Finn had a friend named Jim. And in the book, he was not referred to as just Jim.
Yeah.
And
We've all seen that, yeah.
Right. So we won't say what his name, what he was referred to in the book, but and there was multiple movies made about Huckleberry Finn, and they're fine. It's a depiction of an era of a time in history that we don't have to be proud of every element of it, but we can be proud of the relationships that were made. That Huck Finn found a friend in the most unlikely of places, right? So that's all good. That's all good stuff. The fact that this movie, Song of the South, is banned globally too, I think. I don't know that you can find it
Yeah,
anywhere.
I think they've essentially erased it from
It's just not there, but yet there's rides at Disney World and Disneyland that are based on that movie. I can't remember what are
there? I don't know.
Well, you've got Briar Rabbit.
Oh, right.
And then
Yeah. What is that? That's
A tar baby.
no, I know, but the ride is
yeah, I can't remember the name of the ride.
Something Fox. Is it something?
Well, there's Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox, and there's
right.
Brer Bear.
Brer Bear.
Yeah,
What's the so
I can't
there's
remember.
the
it's like a log
mountain-
flume,
right?
Right. It's like it's one of those water rides. I can't remember the fucking name of it.
Anyway, yeah,
We don't live near a Disney park. Sorry for all you West Coast and Floridians out
It's on
there.
the tip of
They're
my
yelling
tongue.
into
yeah,
their radios
we'll
right
come over.
now.
But anyway, so there's rides based on the movie, but yet the movie's not allowed to be shown.
Yeah, so all the kids that are going on these rides now have no idea
Like,
what they're
what's
based
this
on.
Movie?
Yeah.
That's not Buzz Lightyear,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
It was one of my favorite movies.
It's kind of a shame. I remember when it was re-released in the 80s.
We all went.
My parents took us to go see this movie. Like, oh, you need to go see it. And it was a big deal. And it's been released not since the 80s, I don't think.
Why was it a big deal? You said there was
it
animation.
Well, it was
breaking ground
revolutionary as far as live action and animation in
on
one.
the same screen.
So
Yeah.
Mary Poppins did a lot of the same stuff, but this was before Mary Poppins,
Okay.
I believe. And
So Mr. Bluebird was literally on Uncle
Right.
Remus's shoulder.
Okay, what movie recreated that scene? It was something. Was it like Fletch or?
no, I know you're talking about it was like
Not big.
it was
a big-
it was kind of spoofing it though, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I want to say
Yes.
it was a Will Ferrell or not Will Ferrell.
I want to say
Um,
Chevy Chase.
It wasn't. Maybe it was Will
I
Ferrell.
think it was in the
Maybe- I don't know.
80s. I could be wrong.
Oh, 9 to 5. 9 to 5 did it.
You're right. They did do it.
Mhm.
Really?
That's different,
That's not
though.
what I
That's
was
not what she was
thinking
thinking of, though. It's been done a few
But
times.
Lily Tomlin, that whole scene
Yeah.
with Lily Tomlin.
Yep. I know what you're talking about.
And then there was another movie more recently with Patrick Dempsey and what was it called?
But Walt Disney.
It was a simpler time when you
Right.
could spoof racist movies.
Well,
like,
right. Whoa. But the
wow.
Play in your bubble.
well, I was sitting on my leg and
There's
my
a lot
foot
of
fell asleep.
squeaky chair going.
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, I think that that movie broke a lot of ground as far as animation goes, and Walt Disney was very proud of it when it came out. But it was a different time. Nobody saw any problems with what was going on in that movie. Nobody had any issues with it. So it was released, 40s maybe? Something like that?
Probably.
Maybe 50s. Late 40s probably. And nobody said boo, but then there was no home video, right? And then they re-released it in the movies again. Like
Twitter.
every 10 years, they would just put this back out in the theaters.
Yeah.
And the last time was in, I believe, the 80s, and it's never been seen since. I looked for like a DVD of it or whatever, like a black, like a bootleg or whatever, and you
I
can
have
get
one.
Do you?
Yeah, you can barely hear it.
Yeah. So you have to go to, you go on
Tijuana
eBay
or something.
Yeah, I mean, you get them from Europe or whatever.
The dark web. You have to put in your social security.
Where someone that has a VHS copy that they've then put on a DVD of in the theater the last time it was aired.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's
So that's what it's going to take for you
Was
to
it
sign up
released?
for Disney Plus is to bring back Song in the South.
well. Look, I think
There's probably a contingent of people like you who will hold out until they can get.
no, I don't know that I would need that, but they would have to put something pretty spectacular out there for
I
me.
feel like if The Mandalorian kicks ass, you're probably going to sign up for Disney Plus.
if they have good original programming,
Yeah.
period.
Right.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be done with Netflix. The wife and I went through Netflix and Amazon Prime trying to find something to watch over the weekend. Couldn't find shit.
Did you watch what is it, El Camino?
Yes, I've watched.
Oh, we haven't, but is
We
it
haven't
good?
watched
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not. It doesn't. I won't say it's really good. It's good. It's a good
Don't
taste.
give anything away.
It's a good taste of what Vince
Yeah.
Gilligan had to offer with Breaking. It brings you back into that world. I love
Okay.
Better Call Saul too. So
Right.
but to see that world again, that universe again, it was great. It didn't really button up any holes for me. Really, it's like, all right, well, it's what you would imagine happened
Right.
to Jesse. You know.
I haven't
So,
seen it yet.
I would say I could see us getting rid of Netflix at some point.
Yeah.
Our viewing of Netflix has slowed down as we've gotten some other options. But, and my wife would attest to this, I'm relatively worthless around the house anyway. But
It's true.
thanks to you fuckers, I am back on The Walking Dead, and I've just been sitting on the couch for hours at a time.
So you're forgiven.
Oh my
for right
God,
now,
I'm
because
hooked again. I couldn't care less about it.
When you
2
said that
weeks
you
ago.
gave up on it, I'm like,
Yeah.
just
I
please
know.
watch it again. And
I
yeah,
needed to
Hook, line,
power
and sinker.
through
Yep.
just a handful of episodes that turned me off, and now I'm back.
I guess I got to
Agreed.
listen to or watch one.
Yeah,
I
There's
can't. I
a-
mean, like, I can't say anything.
I
'cause,
know. and
Yeah,
I'm only on halfway through season 7, so I've got more
there's
sitting
so
on the couch
much.
to do.
so much.
Yep.
So
I'm
if you guys
watching Schitt's Creek.
watched any of Rotten, it's a documentary series that it's all about food. So I watched a couple of them. I'm just pulling it
I
up
feel like
here.
I don't want to.
Now, well, yeah, you kind of you may not. So the ones that I watched, the Peanut Problem. Shit. Which is about the peanut farmers and the problem that they have is that the peanut allergies are so rampant. And it's pretty good. It goes into why are peanut allergies so
What's
rampant.
it on?
It's on Netflix, and it's called Rotten. But each episode covers a different food.
Yeah.
And why, just kind of opens your eyes a little bit to it. Like, there's nothing wrong with peanuts, and there's nothing wrong with the farmers of peanuts. And the reason why, and basically what they go into, I'm paraphrasing quite a bit here, but the reason why there's a problem is because there was a time when pediatricians said, oh, you shouldn't feed your kid peanuts. And so there's a large amount of kids that never had peanuts. Yeah. So now they grow into teenagers who've never been introduced to it. The first time they have it, they have a reaction. The parents then overreact instead of introducing things slowly. And so at the end of the episode, they finally get to the point where most of these people go to allergists who say, here, just eat a peanut a day, or eat this little small amount, and just you're gonna build a tolerance, and that's what the human body is supposed to do, and that's why you introduce foods to your children when they're little.
So I have one of my best friends has two little kids. I want to say like 4 and 6, something like that, and their youngest one, their son, has a nut allergy, and it's pretty bad. I don't know what the spectrum of those types of things are, but
peanuts or tree nuts?
Cashews.
So that's a tree nut.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I believe.
That's what they. Yeah.
Right.
So that kind of gets into that.
And
a
there's
little
a
bit too in the
differentiation
documentary.
there. Yeah.
There's a lot of differences.
Right.
Right.
But apparently, what they were told by their allergist or whatever was that they gave him a cashew at a really young age, and that caused the allergy.
Oh, really?
At a young enough age, you can bring it on, apparently, where if you just waited a little bit and then he had cashews, he wouldn't be allergic to them, supposedly.
So the complete opposite of what that.
Right.
I would like to do more research on
I
that.
don't know. I haven't done any, but that's
that
what they were
make
told.
sense to me.
I mean, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Look,
but
I dealt with allergies.
I also think that
my whole life that they gave me shots.
Immunizations might be a problem, but
yeah, we've been over your craziness on that, but whenever I was tested for allergies, and they said they did the whole test, and put all this shit on my skin, and they marked everything like, all right, this is a peanut, and this is a dog, and this is a cat, and this is a parakeet, and whatever. And so they went back in like a week later, and they're like, oh, you're fucking allergic to everything. Well, yeah, I mean every spot that they put shit on my back,
you just
was flared up.
with everything.
Was flared up.
Right.
Yeah, so it was like, yes, I have an allergic, but the allergist said like, well, that doesn't really mean much. So it shows that you're allergic to dogs. You live with 2 dogs. So there's levels of how allergic you are to things. Yeah. And there's an
like
overreaction.
some dogs make me itch and some dogs don't.
So there's an overreaction, and then there's a reasonable reaction, right? So it also said that I was allergic to probably peanuts and fish and shellfish and all these things. But it's about levels. So what they gave me was they found the I think it was like 5 or 6 of the things I was most allergic to, which is mostly like hay fever and just normal seasonal allergies and shit like that, grass clippings and stuff like that. And they gave me a shot, 5 to be, I think it was 5 or 6 that I had to. You remember these vials that were in a refrigerator that I had to give myself shots in each leg. It was like 3 in one and 2 in another. Like didn't matter which leg, but it was 3 in one and 2 in the other. And I think it was 3 times a week. And it was to build an immunity to these things, and they worked.
I don't think I've ever heard of that. Like getting over an allergy to something.
Yeah, and that was in the 90s.
I've heard of people
Why doesn't everybody do that?
Everybody should.
Why do people live with a fucking peanut allergy?
I think I had a really good allergist that, and they had a good grasp on things, and also I went through the motions. A lot of people aren't willing to go through the motions of an allergy test, and then they get the results. And they're like, well, so a lot of allergists too will say they'll get those results. They're like, you're allergic to everything. You need to change your diet, and you need to eliminate all of these things, and then slowly reintroduce these things. I did.
I remember Mom making all sorts of weird.
So the next time some kid at school, their parent is like, Johnny's allergic to peanuts, so nobody can bring in.
Well, now I don't know how
like,
that
have you
works.
Had the
though?
5
like,
shots, 3 in one leg?
No, I think it's different. So if Mrs. Johnny comes in and says Johnny's allergic to peanuts, well, you need to take that very seriously because
because it could be like you could go into anaphylaxis.
Right, it could be very, very serious. The problem is there's a lot of people out there who blow up. It's Munchausen by proxy. They want to make their baby the most important center of attention, and their baby really doesn't have the bigger problem. Well, that's a problem for people who really do have a problem.
But it's one of those like how do you figure out if your baby
You don't.
really
So that-
has a problem? Like,
so you have to take everything seriously.
Yeah.
And if you're
you don't play around with it.
right, you don't play around with it, especially if someone's telling you, my child has an allergy, you take it 100% seriously. But if you're the parent and the doctor says your child has an allergy, and you say, okay, well, how bad is it? And how do we resolve it so that my child can live a normal life and not be afraid of the peanut around the corner?
Right.
And is able to go to a Cardinal game and sit in the normal section with
remember-
all these people eating peanuts. you
Remember
know?
when we were kids and nobody really did anything about allergies like that? And like, remember all those people that died at school from peanuts and shit?
nobody.
Like every weekend, somebody was dying of peanuts.
No.
Oh, wait,
okay,
no,
for
no.
a second, I'm like, the fuck are you
wait, no
talking
one
about?
ever died from peanuts
Well,
when
right.
we were
Well,
at
that's
school?
because of what happened in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, is that all of these...
Immunizations.
No, has nothing to do with immunization.
People were immunizing long
I
before
know.
that, Jared.
It was the
Everything
early
to-
80s.
It has everything to do with the way that pediatricians were telling you to introduce foods to your kids. When my oldest boy was born in 2000, and they gave us, and probably you guys had the same similar thing, right? They give you a list, like at 3 months, you can give them this. At 6 months, you can give them this. At 9 months, this. At a year, this. At a year and a half,
You
this.
have to do things slowly so you can make sure that they don't have a reaction
and we
to it.
followed that shit to
Yep.
a T.
Sure.
And he's not allergic to a goddamn thing. Now,
Yeah.
not to say that that's the absolute answer for it. We had a second son, and they said, yeah, all those rules we gave you 3 years ago, forget that shit. Give him whatever the fuck you want to. Don't give him, there was like a handful of things like, don't give him this, or this. Wait until he's about 6 months, and then you can give him that. But if he can fucking eat it, if he can gum it, give it to him, you know? And then the same thing with my third son. They're like, forget all the fucking rules.
I guess it
Feed
depends
him
what
whatever
you
the fuck
ask,
you want.
because their doctor said it's because you gave him cashews too early.
Well,
and
how
now
old is that child now?
He's like 4 or 5.
Okay. Well, I would say I would get a second opinion on that. I don't know if that. I don't know any. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a
Yeah, I don't
doctor.
know.
But I think that seems counterintuitive.
I mean, you just said all these doctors said wait to give him this at 6 months, give him that at
right.
9
But you
months, give him this.
introduced, no matter what, you introduce them, and then
Right.
they build an immunity.
But I guess
to it.
the issue is if you did it too soon, it could be a problem.
that doesn't
right?
make any sense to me.
Well, why were they saying it? And you did it.
No, I'm just saying that you introduce things slowly so that you know if there is a reaction, you know that there, you know what
I don't know if
causes
it's
it.
I don't know.
necessarily like supposed to be done at a certain age, just like gradually
I
introducing.
mean, I
Right.
agree.
foods.
When he told me that, I was like, what? So you
Yeah.
made him allergic to it by giving it to him?
I don't think that's
Morgan
the
might
case.
have been allergic to carrots because every time she ate them, her nose turned orange.
I think that you could make that kid that's allergic to cashews give him a couple years of slowly ingesting a little bit of cashew or tree nut, whatever it is,
Right.
over time, and he would build up an immunity and his body would be fine. And you watch the documentary. That was just one
Yeah,
episode.
Rotten.
Yeah, Rotten, and that one's about peanuts specifically. It was really good, and I went into it kind of skeptically because I figured it was going to be like, it was going to be the allergy police, like,
Yeah.
oh no, everybody needs to cater to my baby. No more PB&J. Fuck you all. It's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
no, it should be the other way around. If you've got the weird kid that can't eat fucking peanuts or can't even be around
Stay
one,
home.
yeah, just homeschool
Homeschool
your
them.
kid, you know,
Yeah.
because every kid loves peanut butter and jelly.
So there's another show on Netflix that Morgan and Kevin were telling me about the other night called 2-Minute Horror Stories.
Huh.
Whatever. Yeah.
And it-
Sounds brief.
2-sentence horror stories, maybe.
All right.
It's on Netflix. I couldn't
Okay.
find it, but Morgan said it's really good. There's like, a handful of episodes, and each episode is different based on some other type of, scary story. Like,
I'll watch that.
for example, one was a girl was doing a makeup tutorial,
Mm-hmm.
and
Unfortunately, I do know.
someone, without giving things away, she said someone broke into the house.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but there's a twist. Like, she's like, I sat there the whole time with my jaw just dropped. So I'm like,
Okay. I'm
okay,
intrigued.
maybe I will, give it a whirl.
Mhm.
Not when it's dark and not when I'm alone, but I
Right.
will watch it because then I got to watch like cartoons.
You just need to have your dogs around you. And you can just like
Yes.
touch a dog. And like, all right, you got me right. You
Make
got
sure
my-
all the blinds are closed,
Right.
and then like somehow find a way to
You
put
know,
curtains on the back windows.
That reminds me. So, this past week, homecoming week, all the TPing that we talked about on the last episode.
Womp womp.
Yeah. And we had our dog standing guard, and you both know
Oh yeah, she's ferocious.
just how good our dog can be at standing guard, 'cause she barks at anything.
She's definitely an alert dog.
And one fucking night. We didn't have her down on.
It was thundering.
Maybe it
She
was
was
thundering.
nervous.
That's true. She was nervous, pacing around. So she wasn't down on the steps watching outside. And Ryan's fucking kid and his friends
I had no
come
idea.
to our house and TP the yard.
Yeah, who
and
knew?
spread
Fruit
cereal, Fruit Loops all over the yard.
Did you get hit?
No.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
because
All the
there's-
cops on the
you
street.
got a lot of
yeah.
cops around.
Right.
That's what I hear, at least.
We
That
got
sucks.
nailed
Yeah.
at
Yeah, I
on the
noticed-
last day. I think Friday or whatever.
I noticed as I was walking up,
Thursday,
you still had some plops of toilet
Some-
paper. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
Some remnants.
So I went out there. I raked, which did very little good because it had gotten it. It either I think it rained and it was
Oh,
just
yeah,
real
you're
moist and
fucked.
damp
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
and it all just turned to slop. I raked and got up what I could. I mowed, and you see what's left. There's plenty left.
Oh,
That's not going anywhere anytime soon. And
okay,
there's a
see, now I
bunch of
find it
Fruit Loops
interesting.
in the
So
yard.
you did all the cleanup,
well,
whereas our parents
yeah.
made.
Yeah, where were you on this?
yeah, you could have done. She was cooking. She was
So,
in the
but
kitchen.
wait a minute. Where was your daughter?
Right. I wanted to make her do it.
She should have
says,
at least helped.
It's fine. It'll go away.
Yeah.
Oh,
it'll
you
go
should have
away.
called my kid.
Yeah, I know.
I'd have made him come over here
I
and get
almost
over there and
called
clean this
you.
shit. Me?
Because you said, "Oh, if he does it, I'll make him clean it up. I'll bring him over."
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you didn't tell me.
anytime
I
we
know.
ever got anything
I
like
felt
that,
bad.
my girls knew. I'm like, now get out there and
Yeah.
clean it
Yeah.
up. And
Yeah.
clean it up the way that I would clean it up.
I didn't raise her right. She didn't come out and help.
Yeah.
But I was a little pissed. It's still out there. And, God bless it, her boyfriend came and got us again. And because I made the fucking mistake of talking about it that whatever night. And he was over and I was like, yeah, at least I didn't get my truck, which thank you to your son for not TPing my truck.
Well,
At least
yeah.
he's got that
And what does
respect.
her
Right.
boyfriend do? He comes over and
Wrapped your
fucking
truck.
TPs
I
my
know
truck.
he's the one who did it.
Yeah, he did it.
Did
That's
he fess
funny.
Up to you?
No, Riley told me later that he did
Yeah.
it. I was like, and I figured, I'm like, because he said that he threatened. He's like, I'm gonna come back tonight and get you guys. I'm like, you better
know,
not. And
the-
he got my truck.
I listened to the part of the fall forecast from Dave Murray. You know, he always does. He's not on TV anymore, but he's on 97.1 now. So, and he always, every year he does his fall forecast, and he'll do a summer forecast or
In
whatever.
the winter.
Right. And so they're talking about, like, when's the first snow that we can expect in St. Louis? And he's like, well, we've had snow as early as Halloween. You know, we've had, but not like significant snow where it's like accumulation
Yeah,
or
right.
whatever. But like early November, you can, you know, we've had in the past, we've had a significant,
For
you know,
sure.
inch or two or whatever.
Kristen's holding up the double middle fingers.
And so I'm listening, so I'm like, yeah, man, I love snow. I really do. But if it's going to snow, it better fucking snow.
Uh-huh.
None of this little bullshit, you know, inch, half an inch. No. Just fucking snow. Get it over with. Let's go. Let's get this shit done. Cancel school.
I don't mind.
I'm
no,
kinda with you there.
I don't want that. I don't mind the snow that just kind of covers the grass, and if it's a little bit wet, but it's still safe on the streets, like
Yeah.
that's pretty snow, and I can handle that. When it shuts down the world, I can't.
No,
I don't like that.
I never need to see snow again.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
a
like it.
four-letter word.
I like it. I like snow. But anyway, I was cleaning up the yard, hopefully for the last time, doing all the, you know, the mowing the yard for the last time. And I was out there blowing the grass off, and I'm looking at my driveway, which has cars in it, and then my garage has a car in it, and it has a bunch of shit in there too. And I'm like, you know, in this time of year, you look at your driveway and you're like, God, I need a bigger driveway. And then when you got about 3 inches of snow on your driveway, like, God, this fucking thing is
Driveway's
immense.
so huge.
Why are you driving such a large driveway?
Yeah.
And it's never so obvious. Like, and also the distance between my house and my neighbor across the street, whenever there's snow on the ground, it seems like they are miles away.
Yeah.
But like in the summertime, I'm like, hey, you're right there. I could spit on you, you know? But like whenever there's that fresh
Isn't that funny?
blanket of snow, it's
That's
like,
because
wow.
you can't see where things start and stop.
Well, that
you know?
and then the deadening of sound with snow. That's
because it insulates the world.
it's so cool. It's like
It
the
is.
best. How, you don't like anything about
Oh,
snow,
she
huh?
fucking hate. It can be 55 degrees out and she'll have a winter coat on, down-filled jacket with snow boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking today to somebody, and we were talking about kids playing in the snow, and I said, yeah, I used to take pictures of them from inside.
Until she froze solid, and then she had to get away from the window.
Hate it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Snow's great. I mean, I definitely fall
yeah.
and spring are I think everybody's
I prefer
favorites,
fall.
right? Fall.
When you have fall.
Yeah.
When you actually have fall.
Yeah, it goes
We
from
generally don't
90
get
to
it.
Of it right
50
now?
Right now
here.
it's good. Right
yeah,
now
but
it's
in
real
the
good.
morning
It's
it's
too cold.
37.
It's too cold.
In the
I went
morning,
hiking
it's
this
cold.
morning. It
I
was
literally-
40-something degrees. That's not fall. That's winter.
I turned my wipers on this morning and had slush ice on my windshield. Yeah,
this isn't fall. We don't get. Fall.
I need new wiper blades. How often do you buy wiper blades? It's like a once a year thing.
I mostly just buy a different car, and they come with wiper blades.
Yeah, I do that with tires. But
yeah, right. I would say not very often. 3 or 4 years.
Really? I don't know. It
No,
seems like
I use the shit out of my wipers.
it seems like the ones I
So
got on my
probably
truck now are
every
like
15 months.
a couple
wow.
years. Yeah.
I have a car that sits low to the ground, so during rain
catch
and
a lot of
snow, I
shit.
get
Yeah.
everyone's schmutz
Right.
that comes up on there.
Do you have
Plus,
a
I
brand
can't
preference?
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
I don't give a shit.
Mm-mm.
What? I feel like that's a thing
Right
that
now, I have
matters.
Rain-X on them.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I
good.
don't know.
Rain
I
X is
honestly, when I go in, I remember the last time I went in, I actually looked for not the most expensive,
Yeah.
You can always go middle of the road.
but like almost the most expensive because I don't want the cheapest. That's shit. I don't want. I don't want garbage. I've had those. They suck, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I find like they, a little bit better than middle of the road, and that's what I go with. I don't need to spend $40 on a wiper blade. You know?
No.
But
But
I'll spend 20.
They do kind of matter. Like better wiper blades are good.
No,
yeah.
there's definitely a
Cheap
discernible
wiper blades
difference.
sucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't even like little specks. Like pretty much every morning whenever I get in my car, I clean my windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
no
every
matter
time
what.
I get gas, I try every time. I'll get the squeegee thing and like scrub that.
Yeah.
Scrub all your
windshield.
bugs off,
'cause,
yeah.
like, I hate looking at my windshield and having.
I got a lot of
specks.
bugs on mine. I need a good rain.
I know it doesn't rain enough. Yeah.
you need a car wash.
Well, they're getting a new car wash here in town.
I
That's
know. Now,
exciting.
did you notice? So we talked recently because I was kind of bitching about it, saying we don't need another car wash. We got one already. It's
we
fine. Right. But I believe it was
the ones that we have are pieces of shit. Yeah.
Well, your wife said something about they had a sign up that says like the $3 blah 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 car wash or whatever, and that sounds like a great deal.
Yeah.
I think I could be wrong. I've driven by a few days in a row now. I don't think that sign's up anymore. They got other
really?
signs. They got rid of the $3 car wash sign because
Huh.
I'm guessing it ain't going to be $3.
Question, ma'am. What are you hot?
A little bit.
It's a little warm in here, isn't it?
It is a little
Yeah.
warm.
Apology accepted.
You guys gotta open the door.
It's a little warm. Just got my ass chewed upstairs earlier.
For how
She's
cold
over here
it
taking
is.
off her sweater because it's
not-
hot.
It's a whole different place out that door.
I know. Yeah. It's warm in here.
It's fine. It's fine.
So you don't think they're doing the $3 car washes?
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if we don't see it because they took that sign
But even
down.
if it was like a $6 car wash, I'd be down with
Yeah.
that. You have a place near you that does. You have a plan or whatever, like a monthly deal.
Well, you can. I mean, I don't, but well, there's a couple places. I like Waterway. Like, I like the full service.
So
Yeah, they're
there's
nice.
one on, I want to say it's Lime Ferry, kind of near that Harley Davidson dealership across the street. And it's
Okay.
one of those tunnels, you drive through it. And I think it's like $5.
Lime Ferry.
Well, I'm thinking of the Harley Davidson, like by the Mazda dealership, or
Harley Davidson
Yeah.
dealership that I know of is on North Kirkwood.
No. The one
further south.
south, like South County by the mall, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright, fine. But supposedly it's like
Sorry.
a really good car wash. That's really, I mean, $5 is pretty cheap for like a
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
full-
we have a nice one in Fenton too that I'll drive through. Just got a coupon from him today for my birthday.
Nice.
For the Truman wash for free, which is like $12, and they give you this nice like rag to wipe down the inside of your car.
Okay. That's
and-
nice.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they have free vacuums. So
Yeah.
there's like
Yeah.
20 free vacuums,
Right.
and then they have the thing that you can roll your floor mats through.
Oh, that's a game changer.
yeah, I have so
Wow.
much fun. I'm always like,
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
it's nice.
because the vacuum, a vacuum's nice. There's one in Columbia that,
Yeah.
and they have if
That
you
is
get
a
your car
nice
washed,
perk.
We had
the
3
free
of us doing
vacuums.
my car
Yeah, that's great. But doing your floor mats sucks.
yeah, it's a bitch. No, you put this sucker.
I have no problem vacuuming out my car, but
Yeah.
the floor mats are a
Yeah.
bitch.
Well, because you got to stand on them and then
Right.
bend over so that
Right.
they don't scoot
Then
around.
I get
yeah.
heartburn and I'm farting and it's a whole fucking mess. It's like now I gotta move because I can't stand my own stench. It's a fucking problem.
So one night I was there vacuuming my car, getting it all cleaned out or whatever, and I don't think that I wasn't getting a car wash that day. I just wanted to clean the inside.
Mhm.
And it was myself and another woman, and it was in the evening, and it was summertime, and we're vacuuming and doing our thing, not having anything to do with one another. All of a sudden, it goes dead silent, and the vacuum shuts off. And so, of course, I'm all, looking around, and I look at her, and she's all, She looks at me, and we were both like holding her. What the fuck? Who knew that they shut off at 8 o'clock?
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yeah, and thankfully there was
Yeah.
somebody still in there or whatever, and she walked in there. It was great. She walked in there flailing her hands. She's like, I'm working out here. I'm not finished. What you shut it off for? And I'm all, yeah, what she said?
Yeah. Well, I bet you there's probably no way can they turn it back on?
They did. They flipped it back on, and they
Yeah.
said, we'll give you 10 more minutes, but you got to finish up. So, of course, we were both racing around trying to get it all
The
done.
one
or
in
whatever.
Columbia shuts off at a certain. It's
Is
8
that
or
right?
9 or
Yeah,
something.
now I know.
Yeah.
That's
Now
part
I
of
know.
the joy of the spray off car wash, though, is you put your quarters in,
Yeah.
and then you're like, all right, I got 247.
Yeah.
I got to get this shit done.
Yeah,
And you are
it's a
moving,
challenge.
man.
It's a
That's
challenge.
the only
Those
thing I ever do.
Fucking chumps that use the brush, you're wasting your fucking time, man.
yeah.
You know, just you gotta spray and move and that thing starts beeping at you, like your whole asshole drops out of you. You're like, I gotta run over there and put on a quarter in. You know, it's fucking
Now
crazy.
I will say, so I always go to the one in town that's the manual where I can use the sprayer myself, and they have a minimum. It's $3, and it's $3 for I want to say
47 seconds.
no. It's like it's a I want to say it's like 6 minutes, but maybe it's less. But whatever it is, it
More than
was-
enough time.
It was enough time on my little Civic to do the
Right.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Soap the whole thing, then switch over to rinse the whole thing, even do the little what's the like spritzy soft water
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah. Like the
I
soft
forget what it's
rinse or
called.
whatever.
Spot
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, spot free rinse. Yep.
Yeah.
So I could do all that,
And you
but
still had time to play with it and spray the
a
fucking
little bit of
air.
time, yeah, and be like, yep, raining down. But now the truck is it's just big enough that I run out of time, and
Yeah.
I'm like frantically, I'm like you're talking about, I'm going quick, I'm busting ass to get through this thing. But the next option up is like it's twice as expensive, and it's way more time. It's way
Right.
more than I need.
That's whenever you guys should go together.
Yeah, you're
You
right,
finish
yeah.
yours, and then she gets hers through.
Now, she likes the deluxe $10
I don't need the
drive.
deluxe one. I just need one.
that you don't have to do shit.
No, well, when I first got vehicles, I had like a minivan and I had like an
Right.
SUV, and I'm like, I can't get the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just got used to.
The drive-through
The
thing's good.
luxury
The
of-
one in Columbia, I had a bunch of bugs on the grill and on the windshield, and I was like, so do you have some, when I went through, I stopped. There's an automated thing you can buy your thing. I stopped. I wanted to talk to somebody because I had a plan, and I was like, hey, I got a lot of bugs. I got a lot of bugs on the front and on the windshield. Is this thing gonna get them off? And they said, well, yeah, should. If it doesn't, come back through. We'll send you through again for free. I'm like, bet your ass I'm going through that thing twice. I don't give a fuck. If I'll put a bug on the front of the fucking truck.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about the one by us is that if you go, you get a rain check. So you get a 3-day rain check, and then they give you the nice wet towel or whatever. And before 8 a.m. Monday through Friday, you pay $5 for any car wash. That's the early bird special. So I'll go a lot of times, like on a morning whenever I'm actually running on time, and I'll go up there and I'll get the Mac
day is it?
Daddy
What day is it?
any day of the week.
but
Yeah,
early bird,
but
though.
before
Okay.
8 a.m.
Okay.
It has to be before 8 a.m. So if I'm on a good schedule or whatever, and I leave the house at 5 after 7, I'm like, I'm gonna go get me a $5 car wash, and it's a fancy car wash,
Yeah.
and you get the rain check.
I feel like they should come up with like a schedule, like a website. This is a great $1 million idea. Website of like the deals. Like you got Taco Tuesdays, right? I mean, you go like where can you go get Taco Tuesday? You get the early bird car washes. Tuesdays at the theater, the one in town and the ones over in St. Louis. You get a super deal for movies on Tuesdays. Like there should be a website that puts all that shit together. Be like, hey, it's Wednesday, motherfucker. You want to know where to get it?
Yeah.
It's
a good idea.
50-cent tacos here, and you can get a movie for $4 here. Well, I think we need to work on that.
That's
idea.
a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
I have to sell memberships though, or
Start a
advertising. I guess could
podcast
help
about
us.
it.
Yeah, we could do that too.
All right. Well, we're running out of
Oh, we're
time
done?
here. We're like 40 minutes in.
Oh.
Got pee-pee.
Yeah.
You peel a
I do
lot.
too.
And you haven't even drank 5 beers. You
No,
drank
I
2
had 2
bottles of
waters.
water.
I'm trying
And
to
a
figure this
coffee.
out. I've got 4 bottles sitting here, and I got 5 caps.
Is there an old cap, or
I
did you
don't
throw one
think
away
so.
and forget?
Maybe I don't know.
You got 4 kids from 5
I'm
wives.
baffled.
How's
I
that
have to
work?
do some research here. But all right. Well, how can they let us know where they wash their cars?
I don't know. Social media director, how can they let us know?
I don't know those things.
Where are we going to find photos of tonight's podcast
Instagram,
event? Yeah,
maybe.
Instagram.
Maybe
I'm
if you're
not too
lucky.
busy.
At Load This Podcast on podcast. on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Get a load of this podcast on YouTube and load this podcast at gmail.com if you would like to send us an email.
Yeah.
And, I will say thank you to Champaign-Urbana, both of you. They've given some pretty good suggestions. We didn't talk about Champagne's latest suggestion, but we might.
Yeah, no, we didn't.
But Urbana, thank you for your suggestion, and thank you for listening. And she gave big props to one of our co-hosts here, Rebecca, and said that she'd like to hear more female voices on the podcast.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, so here we are.
So
we got two of you. But what else can we do?
Yeah, they got some more feedback and with an idea, and I said, I don't know if Rebecca's going to be into that.
What?
It was combining, because I was contemplating, should I have one last baseball podcast after, the season's over? I wasn't really motivated to do it. It ended on a sour note. And he was like, oh, you should combine it with Get a Load of This. And, you and Ryan can talk about the Cardinals and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but Rebecca's going to be here. I don't know if she'd want to talk about that.
I can dip out for one episode. I can dip out for as many as you want.
Basically, the gist of it is he was like, oh, yeah, more Rebecca. Totally.
Thank you.
Yep. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Well, are you going to... So... Is B-Fibs, you going to pick it up next year?
I think so. I don't know. I really lost steam at the end. I just got unmotivated.
I'm sure it's a grind, and there's
a
a lot of research I know you had to do in order to put together.
Stats and stuff.
So that's why this podcast is you don't have to have a brain cell.
Right. we can just show up.
Thank you. Yeah. That's nice.
Well, no, I mean, we just BS. I mean, it's there's no real planning involved.
That's when it was fun.
What he's doing with the B-Fibs one is, it takes a lot of preparation.
Sure.
I mean, you got to gather stats and all that shit. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of prep, and the Cardinals really were frustrating this year. So it wasn't at the end. It was exciting, but then
she's got to pee. But one last thing on that last game, Matt Carpenter needs to run hard out of the box.
He needs to be.
He needs to be on another fucking team. I said it that night. I was like, look, I've supported that prick all season long, and everybody's been bashing him, and I've had his back. But you hit a ball like that with the bases loaded and in an elimination game, and the dude bobbles, and you're out because you weren't running hard out of the box, and everybody knows it. You go on Twitter, a few people were saying it, but like the people on TV should be saying that shit.
Right? Nobody called him out.
Mike Schilt should be like, "Hey, fuck, run hard out of the box, man." They teach that shit in Little League.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not fucking hard.
He and Acuna Jr. can go be on a team together.
It's bad. It's bad stuff. Bad baseball. And I'd like Matt Carpenter, but he needs to focus a little less on his beard grooming and a little bit more on getting out of the box fast.
I've been
He's got a fabulous beard.
Yeah. I've been over Matt Carpenter for about 2 years now, so
he
can move on.
About it.
Well, he's a piece of
Have you tried his salsa?
He does have good salsa. Yeah. I'll give him that.
I haven't
had his cereal though.
Your tomatillo salsa was tasty.
Yeah.
That was very good.
Not tomato in sight. Tomatillos.
Okay.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was really good.
So good.
Sauce is easy, man. You know who makes a good one is Mike. We've had Mike on the show before. My neighbor Mike. He makes a really good salsa.
You drink a lot of water with salsa, which makes you have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, we got to pee. All right.
One more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Shut up.
All right. We thank you for listening and subscribing and downloading and all that great stuff. So until next time, I'm Jarod.
I am Ryan.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Beggy.
And this is Half Loaded.
Peace. We'll get there. It's outtakes. Or intakes, as Bill puts it, right? Or whatever.
One of those.
No, but I was reading, and I was like, this is completely different than it would have been 20 years ago. Because it was like, on Netflix, there's going to be this. On Amazon Prime, there's going to be this. On Disney Plus, there's going to be this. And it's like, it's no longer just like ABC has the new episode of The Cosby Show.
Right.
And NBC and CBS and Fox. And that was it, right? And even go back further, it was ABC, NBC, CBS. And now it's like, you've got all of these little independent, and then you've got the HBOs and all these little networks that are putting out shows. And it's very confusing. And
it's overwhelming.
Well, right. And there's just there's too much content. But it's amazing to me that as I'm watching all this shit, as I'm reading, through this list of stuff, it's like how much money it takes to make a TV show, and they keep pumping them out. And how many people can possibly be watching these fucking things?
I mean,
they're all just trying to find the one hit that sticks around for 10 years and they can make billions off of. But
I think there's a lot out there. And with
Yeah.
the
Well,
streaming
right, but
service
how many-
abilities, people don't have to watch them on the night that they air.
Right.
So people can watch them on a Saturday afternoon.
Right.
People can watch them on a Saturday afternoon or a Sunday afternoon,
Right.
Yeah.
you know, all at one time,
Yeah.
as opposed to wait. You know, like, I saw something today on Facebook and it said something about, you know, being a child of the 80s or 90s, and that the worst part about it is that if you missed a TV show, you missed it forever.
Right. Yeah. It was
Right.
done.
You just never knew what was
Right.
going to happen. If you
Right.
didn't watch Dallas, you did not know who
Right.
shot JR.
Right.
Yeah.
You had
You
to.
know?
You had to talk to people, and then they never told you the story as well
Yeah.
as the show did.
My
Yeah.
mom got crabby whenever they tape over Guiding Light.
Yeah, yeah.
Bad.
And this was even, I'm talking even before VCR, you know, recordings
Right,
were a thing,
right.
you know,
Yeah.
like
You
if
missed Archie Bunker.
you missed Archie
missed it.
Bunker. Yeah, yeah.
And you know what? The funny
Which
thing is,
made
like,
you had to make time to watch
Right.
it. You know?
Exactly.
I remember
and there
whenever-
were fewer shows to watch then.
Yeah, that's
whenever Alf premiered, and it was a huge deal.
You loved the show.
I did. I loved Alf.
We've
So,
talked about that.
What do you do? You're way too close to take a picture of me.
Tried.
So we were all playing football in the backyard of Jim's house, and we all had, you know, we wore our watches that day. It was
Yeah.
like, we gotta go. So because we knew at 7:00 on whatever, I don't remember, ABC. I don't remember what channel it was on. It was like we knew it was like Tuesday night. Alf's premiering. We had seen these commercials and it looked hilarious. So and that, no shit, like 10 minutes left. It's like, all right, gotta go. Everybody hopped on their bike and we all went back to our homes and we watched the premiere of Alf. And then probably went right back out and was like, did you
Right.
know that was fucking hilarious?
Because it was like, you know, 17 minutes of actual show and
Right.
13 minutes of commercials.
Right. Yeah, it didn't take as long, but Alf was great. But it was an event for whatever a 12-year-old me,
Yeah.
you know, that it was like, all right, we all had to. The world stopped for us. But I think it happened that way for adults too. But it was different shows,
It
right?
was
Right.
MASH or something.
Every
What was it,
night, Mom and Dad would watch
Yeah.
MASH.
Moonlighting. Remember Moonlighting?
Oh,
With,
yeah.
They both loved
yeah.
that. Bruce Willis.
Well,
and-
Mom and I watched a lot of Moonlighting.
Dad
together.
liked moonlighting
I
too.
don't think so.
No?
No.
Did I make that up?
I think so.
Okay.
It's too lovely.
I don't remember him being around. I mean, to watch that show with us. He was working late or whatever.
That's possible.
I mean, but I remember it was awkward because I'm watching the show with my mom. And I'm
Yeah.
like, it was weird.
Yeah.
I remember there was
you
weird
and
moments.
Mom did watch a lot more. I
Yeah.
didn't participate in the TV watching.
Well, she made me watch Dallas and Falcon Crest.
Well, I was gone with
and
my friends on
Dynasty.
Friday nights. Those
Yeah.
were Friday night shows, and I was always
Right.
gone.
And
Your
basically,
mom made you watch Falcon
that was-
Crest and Dynasty.
yeah. But I ended up really enjoying them.
Right.
And it was all just waiting to go pick her up from the roller skating rink.
Yeah.
I was just like, can we go get her yet? Nope. No, we gotta. Yeah, she's not ready yet. So,
Did you see the Disney tweets the other day where they were tweeting out every show that's going to be on Disney Plus? So it was 667
Jesus.
tweets, and they
Jesus.
started with Snow White. They went all the way back and then worked their way up to the newest thing.
So are these the children? Okay, so
I'll tell you what. If they want to make a subscriber out
It's
of me,
going to be great. I'm
if
totally.
they want to
signing
make
up
a
for it.
subscriber out of me,
seriously?
Oh,
they need
yeah.
they need to put Song of the South on.
Well,
Oh,
that's
I
the
love
one thing that
that.
won't be on there.
Why?
So I know it has its racist stuff. It definitely does, but it's history.
Yeah.
And it's actually an animation marvel.
Yeah.
At the time that it was made, it was revolutionary. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yism?
it does have racist stuff.
Yeah.
So does
the crows. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, we need to.
We can still see
Oh,
that.
kick it
This
off.
should be our.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
our
yeah, do
episode.
the thing.
Okay.